Respected audience, today in this slot, I propose to discuss essentials of a valid marriage because I have already discussed uh, a definition, meaning definitions, as well as nature of Muslim marriage, jurisprudential basis of the Muslim marriage. The next point that I want to discuss today is uh, what are the essentials of a valid Muslim marriage. Respected audience, I have already pointed out while explaining the nature of the Muslim marriage that a marriage according to the Muslim law is not purely a civil contract, but of course it is in the nature of the civil contract. Since it is in the nature of the civil contract, therefore, it must be solemnized with the performance or in compliance of certain formalities. Whereas Palestine Muslim law itself does not prescribe any uh, religious ceremony, ritual, or formalities. But since the union is supposed to be a union of the civil nature, giving rise to uh, reciprocal number of the rights and obligations which are also of the civil nature, therefore, it should be constituted, or the Muslim marriage should be solemnized or should be formed with the performance of certain conditions or in compliance of certain conditions. Therefore, the conditions, the compliance of which are necessary for the formation of a Muslim marriage or for the constitution of the union of a marriage, uh, which is of course in the civil nature, uh, following formalities uh, should be taken care of, or Muslim marriage should be constituted with the performance or with the compliance of certain conditions. Therefore, the conditions which are necessary for the constitution of a Muslim marriage, basically they are academically called as essentials of a valid marriage or prerequisites of a valid Muslim marriage or formalities for the constitution of a Muslim marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, accordingly, following are the essentials of a valid Muslim marriage, are the requisites of prerequisites of a valid Muslim marriage are number one, that there should be offer on the part of one party to the marriage, offer on the part of one party to the marriage, means there must be offer by one party, as well as the acceptance of the offer by the other party. So offer and acceptance is one of the essentials for a valid Muslim marriage. What is the offer? What is the acceptance? How the offer will be made? I will explain it a little bit late uh, after pointing out one by one the essentials of a valid Muslim marriage. So, the first and foremost essential of a valid Muslim marriage is that there should be offer on the part of one party to the marriage and the acceptance of the same by or on behalf of the other party to the other party who are wishing to marry. Then the third one is that proposal and acceptance must be in the same meeting. The next is that proposal and acceptance of the marriage should also take place in the presence and hearing of the competent witnesses. So, offer and acceptance is one of the essential conditions for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage. Next to it, that offer and acceptance, uh, that is the offer and acceptance must take place uh, in the presence and hearing of the witnesses. The next is that offer and acceptance must be expressed uh, in one and same meeting of the marriage. Uh, the next condition for a valid Muslim marriage, or the next prerequisite of a valid Muslim marriage, is that the offer and acceptance for the marriage must be with the free consent of the parties concerned, or parties who are wishing to marry with each other. Therefore, this offer and acceptance should be with the mutual free consent of the parties concerned, that is, the parties who are wishing to marry with each other. The last but not least, and the most important condition or prerequisite for a valid Muslim marriage is that at the time of the solemnization of the marriage, or formation of the marriage, or formation of the union of marriage, parties should not be within the degrees of prohibited relationship. So, in this way, there are five prerequisites, or essentials, or conditions for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage. I have already pointed out at the cost of repetition that there must be offer on the part of one party, the acceptance of the same on the part on an acceptance of the same by or on behalf of the other. Offer and acceptance must be expressed in one and same meeting of the marriage. Next, the offer and acceptance must be made, or must be expressed, or must take place in the presence and hearing of the competent witnesses. And uh, next, that is the fourth condition, is that offer and acceptance must be with the mutual free consent of the parties wishing to marry with each other. And the last but most important is that at the time of marriage, the parties wishing to marry with each other should not be within the prohibited degrees of relation. Therefore, uh, when two persons of the opposite sexes, that is, one male and another female, unite with each other in compliance of these formal five conditions, uh, then uh, there will be a lawful union of marriage between the two persons, and this union will be uh, entitled to be called as a union of Muslim marriage, or it will be called as Muslim marriage, and it will be a lawful, it will be a valid union, provided the formation of the union has taken place in strict compliance of all these conditions, which just I have pointed out as prerequisites, or formalities, or essentials necessary for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, now the point that arise for consideration as to what is the proposal and what is meant by acceptance in context of the formation of a Muslim marriage or union of the marriage. Uh, Proposal and offer, these two words are terms, they are of legal nature and they are well defined under the Indian Contract Act. Section 2 of the Indian Contract Act defines what is the proposal and what is the acceptance. Uh, Almost the same meaning of the proposal and acceptance is applicable in order to understand the expression proposal and offer in context of the Muslim marriage. However, it is necessary that marriage is constituted by means of proposal by one and acceptance of the same by other. Uh, Proposal here means in context of the formation of the marriage, proposal simply means formal expression of willingness of one party to marry with other. Therefore, when one party is communicating his intention in a formal way to marry with a person of his or her choice or person addressed by means of the marriage, then this formal communication of the intention by one person wishing to marry with the person to whom the proposal is being made will be called as offer to marry or proposal to marry. So basically, uh, proposal is willingness. So when person signifies his willingness to marry uh, with a person whom the proposal or offer of the marriage is addressed, and the willingness is signified uh, in a formal way, and same is communicated orally or in writing, then such a formal expression of the willingness by one person wishing to marry with another, this formal expression of the intention basically is called as proposal to marry. Therefore, the initial communication which may be verbal or which may be in writing is made by one to another. That initial communication expressing the intention, bona fide intention to marry with another person is called as proposal to marry or proposal for marriage. Uh, Proposal for marriage may be both oral or it may be in writing. Both are valid. However, a proposal to be effective and valid in order to constitute the marriage, it is necessary that it must be brought to the notice of the other party. It may be communicated, it must be communicated, and communication may take place by verbally or it may be communicated in writing. However, expression of the willingness to marry must be communicated by one to other. It may be oral or it may be in writing. Uh, this is called as proposal. So formal expression of the willingness on the part of one party wishing to marry with other basically constitute the proposal with reference to the formation of a Muslim marriage, which requires that there must be proposal on the part of one party wishing to marry. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other hand, for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage, I have already pointed out that there should not only be the proposal, formal proposal or offer to marry, but at the same time, the proposal made by one party, communicated by one party, oral or in writing, must be accepted by other. Here, acceptance is another essential requirement for the formation of a valid union of Muslim marriage. So, acceptance here means affirmative willingness or affirmative answer to the proposal which has already been made oral or in writing by the one party. So basically, acceptance here means affirmative answer or positive answer or to the proposal which has already been come to the other party. However, acceptance may also be given oral or it may also be given in writing. But at the same time, as it is necessary for the proposal that it must be formally communicated by one, in the same way, the other party is also required to communicate his acceptance by any effective means. And the effective means in the given circumstance may be the oral communication or it may be in writing. However, of offer and acceptance which are necessary for the formation of a valid marriage must be formally expressed with the bona fide intention that they are interested, they are willing, they are wishing to marry with each other. Say, for example, A is a man or A is a boy of mature age. He is of 20 years old or 21 years old or whatever may be the age prescribed is. If a person of mature age is wishing to marry with a girl or with a lady of mature age, say for example W. Now the law requires, Muslim law requires that proposal for the marriage may move from A or should move from the B. This is not necessary that a proposal for marriage should proceed only from the side of the girl or only from the side of the boy. This is the any party girl may make the proposal expressing his willingness to marry with a particular boy A, or A the boy may also make the formal proposal expressing his willingness to marry with a girl, that may be the W or maybe anybody else. However, in order to unite with each other by means of the marriage, the first and foremost step for the formation of the union is the proposal on the part of one party and the acceptance of the proposal for marriage by another, that is affirmative reply of the proposal by the other party. When there is a formal proposal and formal acceptance by the other party, means one step towards the formation of the marriage is complete, means one condition for the formation of a Muslim marriage has been complied with, and it will be deemed as the marriage is going to be duly constituted, in due form it is going to be constituted. Uh, Respected audience, it is also necessary to clarify that the next step or next condition for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage is that a proposal and acceptance must take place in one and same meeting. This is also the prerequisite, precondition for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage. Law requires that a proposal to marry should be expressed, made, or communicated by one party to another, and the acceptance of the proposal or affirmative reply or answer of the proposal by the other party, both must take place in one and same meeting. Uh, Here, one and same meeting means that it must take place in one sitting. Therefore, here meeting means uh, the congregation held for the for concluding the marriage ceremony. Therefore, when uh, a formal congregation is held or is organized for concluding the marriage, or this formal congregation organized by the parties for concluding the ceremony of the marriage or formation of the marriage is called as meeting. And the rule is, law requires that proposal and acceptance for the proposal should be made, and acceptance of the proposal should also proceed in the same congregation. If it is in different congregation, if it is in the different setting, then our proposal and acceptance which is necessary for the formation of a valid marriage will not be valid, will not be complete, and marriage will also not be validly constituted for the want of proposal and acceptance in one and same meeting. Therefore, law requires, say for example, suppose A is wishing to marry with B, and A makes the proposal for the marriage, then law requires that when the meeting for concluding the marriage is held or is organized, A should make the proposal for marriage to B, and B should express his acceptance, or B should accept the proposal in the same meeting or in the same congregation of the marriage. If proposal is made by A in one meeting, and when proposal is made, thereafter the other party move out from there, goes out of the congregation, engages himself or herself in any other work or business, then it will not be. And thereafter, after some time, after 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, or after 24 hours, again the same party come back, and a congregation is organized and acceptance is given by the B. So it will not have the character of the one and same meeting. Therefore, one and same meeting, according to the Islamic jurist, requires that it must be both the proposal and acceptance must be in a continuous meeting. Therefore, if A makes a proposal in one congregation, in the same congregation, without any break, the B should also express his acceptance, or he should give his positive reply of the proposal. When in this way offer and acceptance takes place, then it will amount as if offer by one and acceptance of the same by the other party has taken place in one and same meeting, which is one of the prerequisites for the formation of a valid Muslim marriage. Uh, uh, Therefore, uh, formal this the proposal and acceptance must be in one and same meeting. This is necessary condition. The other is that it must take place in the presence and hearing of the witnesses. Uh, Regarding the witnesses, uh, two things are important. That three things are important. That number one, that witnesses must be present in the congregation held for the conclusion of the marriage. And number two, that at least there must be two witnesses for while formal proposal and acceptance is made, and witnesses must be competent or must have capacity, and the capacity for the witnesses as prescribed by the Muslim law is that they should be Muslim, or they should be adult, and they should be a person of sound mind. If at the time of proposal and acceptance witnesses present are less in number, they are not adult or of mature mind, or they are not sane, and they have not attained the age of majority, or they are not Muslim, it means that this requirement has not been complied with, and marriage will not be regarded to have been duly constituted. Therefore, it is necessary that offer and acceptance should be expressed in the presence of at least two witnesses in the same meeting, and the number of the witnesses should be at least two. And third thing is that witnesses should be duly competent, or they should be duly qualified, that they should be Muslim, male. If they are all are male, then their number should be two. If one is male and other is female, then there must be two females. However, uh, uh, it is necessary that marriage should be constituted, or often acceptance should take place in the presence and hearing of the witnesses. The last and but most important condition for a valid marriage is that parties should not be suffering from any legal disability. Means at the time of marriage, the parties should not be prohibited by law to marry with each other. Provision for the marriage arise on three grounds, that is on consanguinity. On the ground of the consanguinity, two parties may be prohibited to marry. Consanguinity means that when two persons are connected by blood, close blood relation, then they may not be married, may not be legally entitled to marry with each other. For example, one cannot marry with his mother, one cannot marry with his sister, one cannot marry with his aunt, one cannot marry with his niece, vice versa. Other ground of prohibition is fosterage, means as one is prohibited to marry with his or her uh, descendant or ascendant, in the same way one is also prohibited to marry with his foster relation, that is one cannot marry with the foster mother. Foster here means one who has feeded to a man. Therefore, if there is a lady W and she has feeded to A while he was infant, so now A will be prohibited to marry with the W. Not only with the W, but A will also be prohibited to marry with the daughter of the W, with the sister of the W, with the mother of the W, because all of them are connected with the A by foster relation. So the other ground for prohibition is the foster relation, that is created by uh, uh, feeding. And the third one is that is the affinity, that is certain people are prohibited to marry on the ground of the marriage. For example, one cannot marry with the real sister of his wife, with the mother of his wife, and with the mother of his wife, because these person are connected with A by means of the affinity. So one is prohibited to marry with the other on the ground of the on the ground of consanguinity, on the ground of that is also known as Sapinda relation in under the Hindu law, on the ground of the postage, on the ground of the affinity. So if two person are connected with each other by consanguinity, by affinity, or by postage, then they cannot be entitled to marry, and if marriage takes place, that will not be a valid marriage. With this, now the essentials of a valid marriage is over. Thank you very much.